We always need to honor our brother Roger Teal for being a wonderful host and for carrying a powerful mantle of spiritual leadership and speaking into the theme of the evolution of spirituality. I begin with an awareness, of course, that we all know from where we're standing here and right now, living, moving, and having our beingness in the great power, the great presence, the great love, the great life that we choose to call God. We're not holding on to an old concept of enlightenment, one and done and static. We're aware in the evolution of spirituality that, first of all, we're already enlightened. We're suffused with cosmic light because we are the light that lights up every man and every woman that comes into the world. So we're not seeking to get enlightened. Our spiritual practice is about removing the obscurations from the mind that we may see that we're already enlightened. We're already light, beautiful, love, intelligence, joy overflowing. And so we release the old Eastern concept of enlightenment, incarnation after incarnation after incarnation after incarnation. Give it a break. We're standing in the awareness right now that we are enlightened beings, full to overflowing with the Spirit of the living God. And with every insight and every revelation of that truth, there is an ever-increasing awareness of that which is real, and we continue to become more and never less than our true self. We at the same time are releasing all of the Western concepts of enlightenment that hold us to dying and then going to a place called heaven somewhere in the future. We embrace the spiritual idea that the kingdom of heaven is at hand now, and that whenever an individual comes into an awareness of love, joy, compassion, kindness, generosity, total giving of themselves into anything, divine creativity, in that moment they are in heaven. They have activated the bliss quotient. And so this evolution of spirituality takes us out of the fundamentalism of the East and the West and allows us to come into a coherence with the divine mystical truth that have been uttered through all of the great spiritual teachers that have walked the planet. Our evolution of spirituality has moved us into an awareness where we know the difference between the world and the planet. We know that the planet is Mother Earth, 3/4 water, magnificent mountain ranges, deserts, foliage, rainforests. We know that Mother Earth is our planet, but we know that the world is made up of a synergetic network of conversations, agreements, beliefs, perceptions that become the world in which we live. And so there is a difference between the two. This is why two people can be in the same place geographically, be a part of the same experience, but be in two different worlds based on what's going on in their interior awareness. Therefore, what we are up to as an association of Global New Thought is that we are aware that our internal dialogue and our conversation and our agreements shift the world in which we are living, and then that world begins to outpicture as our actions and our assignments to radically reveal the world that God sees that's in the midst of us. So we know when we change the conversation, we change the world. When we change the conversation, we change our perception, our consciousness, and the world changes. So we're up to, and you're up to, in this spiritual community, changing the conversation on a regular basis so that the conversation is in the field of that which is possible. It is in the realm of that which can be done. We stand in the conversation that we live in a field of plenitude and abundance. We stand in a field of divine intelligence and wisdom and beauty and absolute joy, and that this becomes not only our conversation, it becomes the activity of our awareness that leads to right action. We're standing in a field in which we know that we are the individuals that are holding on to a radical idealism and a conscious naivete. Now radical idealism and conscious naivete is the hallmark of integrity. That is the integrity of your soul, which knows that all things are possible and that there is an absolute magnificent spiritual idea of the world, and magnificent spiritual idea that's locked within us all, waiting for us to uncover it, activate it, and express it. And so we operate from a radical idealism, pulled by a magnificent vision of that which is seeking to download itself through each and every one of us, because we know that resignation leads to lethargy and apathy, and it takes no courage to resign yourself to conditions as they are. It takes an idealism and a conscious naivete. I don't know how we're going to do it, but it's going to be done through us. We hang in that awareness. This is our work. And so we're absolutely understanding in our teaching that the Spirit of the living God in its dynamic of infinitude has recreated each and every one of us in its image and its likeness, has not repeated itself one single time, has never done a do-over. So infinitude is expressing itself through each and every one of us, which means all of us have a powerfully unique assignment that we are to fulfill. And the activation of our potential leads to a level of bliss and ecstasy. So be aware, you have an assignment. When you look at the world as it appears to be, you're not to be lethargic or apathetic or resign yourself to conditions. You're to have a radical idealism of what's possible, be pulled by a magnificent vision, and then ask the universe, what is my assignment at this time in human history? With the systemic issues that we are facing, environmentally, social justice, wars and rumors of wars, and the prison industrial system, and police brutality, and the gap between the rich and the poor and poverty. What is my assignment? And you will get your assignment. You'll hold fast to the spiritual principles and the dynamic presence of a living God, and you will know that all things are possible. All things are possible. All things are possible for those who connect with that God presence and know that there's absolutely no separation. Peace and riches, blessings to all of you.